In this week's video, we've got some news about a Halloween sneak peek that's happening this weekend, a new interview with David Gordon Green, and some new images to talk about. It's a big week in the Halloween world. First up here, we have something that's pretty interesting, but also kind of confusing. So this weekend, Saturday, August 15th, this YouTube channel from Brazil called Geek Nation is doing an on-live convention, I guess, and they're going to have a horror panel with Universal. And one of the things they're teasing is a sneak peek from Halloween Kills. Normally, I really wouldn't care all that much about this. I would obviously watch it for a video, but a lot of people have been asking about it for one big reason, and that's that last week, Disney announced that they're going to let people watch Mulan at home instead of waiting for it to be able to be released in theaters. So if you already have a Disney Plus subscription, which is like $8 a month, you can pay $30 extra to watch Mulan whenever you want. And it's sort of like PlayStation Plus, where they give you free games every month, but then if you stop subscribing, you can't play those games anymore. If you stop subscribing to Disney Plus, you can't watch Mulan. Now, when you take that announcement and combine it with this sneak peek that's happening this weekend, a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that maybe Universal is going to backtrack on their decision to push Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends each back a year. Guys, I'm sorry I have to be the one to break your hearts again, but I'm sorry, this isn't going to happen. This movie is coming out next October, regardless of what fans say or whatever movies end up coming to VOD. They've locked in that release date, and I guarantee you, I will bet money on it that they are going to stick with it. Making that decision to push Halloween Kills and Ends each back a year isn't something that a bigwig over at Universal just woke up one day and decided to do. That was a decision that was made over a very long period of time. Like, they waited until the absolute last second to do it, which is right before all of the marketing for Halloween Kills was about to start. Because if you look at Halloween 2018, the marketing really started around June, July for that movie. So looking at Halloween Kills, if COVID didn't happen, that's when it would have started for that movie. So that's why we got that delay so late in the game. They were really thinking about it. I guarantee you they were trying to find any other way where they could release that movie this year, stick with their original marketing plan, and still make the money that they're projected to make on it, but they just decided they couldn't. And on top of that, a foreign language live stream that's going to be happening in Brazil, and there's no mention at all of an English counterpart happening here, is definitely not the place where they're going to announce that, no, we were just kidding, we're going to actually release Halloween Kills on VOD this year and then wait and release it in theaters next year. That's just not the place to do something like that. If they were ever to announce it, it would come out of nowhere like the last announcement did. We would hear from John Carpenter, David Gordon Green in some capacity, the Blumhouse official Twitter, the Halloween official Twitter. And finally, if they were to release Halloween Kills on VOD this Halloween for like one night only, so you could just rent it on Halloween night and enjoy it at home, that would be the most pirated movie of all time, because there would be a full year between that and the theatrical release, which is next October, and all it would take is one person to screen record the movie and throw it up on every torrent site out there, and then we'd all have Halloween Kills for a whole year. Like, I'm not saying I would torrent it, but I'm not saying I would torrent it. So while it completely sucks that we have to wait an extra year for Halloween Kills, I promise you that wait is going to be a whole lot easier if we stop trying to make 2 + 2 = 5. You know, it's not like we can just take these different points on the grid. Like, oh, there's a live stream this weekend. I'm going to connect that with Disney releasing their movie on VOD, and then I get Halloween Kills releasing on VOD this year. You know, it's like conspiratorial stuff like that that's just going to cause more disappointment in the community. But you guys don't have to worry about a lack of Halloween news, because I have a ton of other ideas I've basically been saving for something like this to happen. I still have to rank all of the Halloween movies. I've never done that. I also never did a one good scare on Halloween 3, so instead of jumping right into that, I think I'm going to just kind of remake my other Halloween one good scares, do a revisited look, because my opinions have changed since 2018. I've learned a lot about editing and writing since then, and I just feel like it'd be a lot of fun. All right, moving along here, I was really excited when I started getting a bunch of DMs about a new image of Tommy Doyle, who is of course being played by Anthony Michael Hall. I rushed over to his Instagram to see this image, and really it's nothing incredibly new. He's wearing the same outfit we've always seen him in. He's still got that baseball bat, but it is a new angle, and it's just interesting to see some new stuff coming out from this movie, because as we know, all of the marketing's been canceled at this point, or at least delayed till next year. As far as Tommy Doyle as a character goes, I am really liking the direction they're taking with him. I like his outfit. It looks very Midwestern dad. I like the fact that when he hears something happening with Michael Myers outside, He grabs a baseball bat that's like the most Midwestern dad thing of all time. And I like how he has the confidence to go out and face off against this dude, because back in 1978, he was a kid. He didn't have any of the confidence or strength required to take on someone like Michael Myers, but now he's gonna have a little bit more confidence, and I like that evolution of the character. And also, because you guys are internet sleuths and you're gonna look anyway, I looked into that watermark that's across the image, and it looks to me like it says property of Home Again Productions. So I looked that up, and it's essentially a production company that's from Wilmington, North Carolina, which is of course where they filmed Halloween Kills. So I'm assuming that these are the people who David Gordon Green hired to work on set with him to film the movie, and they have like a production cut that they sent Anthony Michael Hall, and he showed off a screenshot from it. So there's no conspiracy there. I just want to let you guys know. Since we're already talking about Tommy and the other residents of Haddonfield, like I mentioned earlier, the marketing for this movie would basically be in full swing now, and a lot of the set visit reports probably would have come out by now as well. It's safe to say all that stuff got delayed at this point because we haven't seen any of it, but one interview did slip through the cracks, and it's in Total Film magazine. Obviously it was supposed to be something bigger with new images from the set, or maybe a new image of Michael Myers' mask, but they obviously had to pare it down a little bit and just give us a nice little snippet of what's going to happen in the movie. There is one part that really stood out to me in the interview with David Gordon Green, where he specifically talks about the approach with Halloween Kills versus Halloween 2018, where that movie was mainly focused on the Michael versus Laurie situation, and this movie is really focused on Haddonfield against Michael. He said if the first film was somewhat retelling the origin of Michael Myers, getting us up to speed with where Laurie has been all those years, then part 2 is about the outrage of Haddonfield. It's about a community that's united by outrage and divided in how to deal with evil. I'm not even gonna bullshit you guys here. Everything he said we already knew basically since before they filmed the movie because of the working title mob rules, but again, it's still cool to hear the director talking about the movie, and it got me thinking about something pretty sweet. I actually just watched Halloween 4 for like the 100th time because it's the perfect movie to get me into that fall feel that I can't really get by stepping outside here in Los Angeles, and I'm sure I couldn't get it if I lived anywhere else that actually has fall because we're in the middle of August, but due to the pandemic, I've decided that fall is starting early this year. That's a personal problem that I have. But another thing I really like about that movie is it actually does touch on the idea of Haddonfield thinking that the police did a terrible job handling the Michael Myers fiasco back in 1978, because that movie of course still includes Halloween 1 and 2. We see it specifically when the whole city is told to shut down, and then the bartender says he's not going to close down unless he has a good goddamn reason, so he calls the police station and obviously no one answers. So him and his buddies, they all pile into their pickup trucks, they drive around the town, and they deliver some mob rules. I think that was a really cool idea to explore, and while it is handled a little bit sloppily in the movie and it's not really a huge part of it, I think taking that theme of the town not thinking the police can do their jobs and taking it upon themselves to go out and find Michael and finally kill him off is a really smart thing to approach for the middle movie in this trilogy. We've gotten a lot of hints that A, Hawkins is alive after what happened to him in Halloween 2018, which again, I still don't really understand how that happened, but whatever. And we've also heard that B, him and Laurie are going to be shacked up in the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital for most of the movie, and I really like that approach, knowing that this movie picks up exactly like right after Halloween 2018, because after the injuries both of them sustained, really if either of them were in any shape in that movie to go fight Michael Myers, it would be very immersion breaking because Laurie takes a beating. You know, he slams her by the neck on the back of a door, he stabs her, she falls out a second story window of a house. Like, she's a human being, where Michael Myers is mildly supernatural in some capacity. I feel like that's just established at this point. Laurie Strode is an old woman. It's just at the end of the day. So her getting her ass beat repeatedly by Michael Myers would mean she's going to be stuck in a hospital bed. I feel like that's the way to go. And knowing now that this is a trilogy, if we had 3 movies in a row where it just builds up to a showdown between Laurie and Michael in the end, that would be pretty boring by the 3rd movie because we would just not believe that Laurie was able to kill him at that point. So if you just take her off the board in the 2nd movie and let her come back and fight Michael with Tommy Doyle, with Lindsay Wallace, with whoever survives Halloween Kills, that's going to be a much more powerful conclusion to this trilogy than having the same thing happen 3 times, which is a major risk, really. I feel like that could have easily happened with a less smart writing and directing team. But that's it for this week's Halloween alert. I'd really appreciate hearing from you guys down in the comments below. If you're new here, I answer every single comment. I love talking to you guys. It's a lot of fun talking about my favorite movie with so many people. And if you do decide to subscribe today, make sure you hit that notification bell and set the notifications to all, so when I upload upload a video, you'll get a bump on your phone and then an email potentially. So then you'll know I uploaded a video, and you'll have 10 minutes of awesomeness throughout your day. I really do appreciate how many of you have done that, by the way. I know a lot of other YouTubers, and they're hovering around like 5 or 6% of their audience having notifications on, and I'm somewhere north of like 20 or 25, and I wear that very proudly. So if you're one of those people, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this week's Halloween alert. As always, my name is Jimmy Champane, and I'll see you in the next one. Shape on.